It's January 20th, 2001, in Washington, D.C. In his final hours as president, Bill Clinton sits down at his desk and signs one last piece of paper before he walks out the door for good. That single signature erases 65 federal crimes. It wipes out tens of millions of dollars this man owed in unpaid taxes. And it does all of this for someone who hasn't set foot on American soil in almost 20 years. This man's name once sat on the FBI's most wanted list, right next to Osama bin Laden's. American agents chased him across 4 different countries and never once caught him. He lived in mansions. He threw legendary parties. He kept earning hundreds of millions of dollars a year, all while officially a fugitive from the United States government. He wasn't a spy. He wasn't a mob boss. He was a businessman. And this is the story of how he outran the most powerful government on earth and simply waited for it to forgive him. Mark Rich doesn't start out with money or power. He's born in Belgium in 1934, and when the Nazis invade, his Jewish family flees for their lives, eventually landing in New York City with almost nothing. Rich grows up quiet, sharp, and obsessed with numbers. He drops out of college and takes an entry-level job at a commodities trading firm called Philip Brothers, buying and selling raw materials like oil, metal, and grain for other companies. He turns out to be a natural. He has a gift for spotting opportunity in chaos, buying low in one corner of the world and selling high in another, faster than almost anyone else in the business. By his mid-30s, he's ready to build something of his own. In 1974, Rich leaves his firm and starts his own trading company in the quiet Swiss town of Zug, alongside 2 partners. He calls it Mark Rich and Company. 2 decades later, that same company will be renamed Glencore, and it will grow into one of the largest commodity trading firms on the entire planet. Rich's real talent is trading with countries other companies are too nervous or too legally restricted to touch. In 1979, Iranian revolutionaries storm the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and take American hostages. In response, the United States bans all oil trading with Iran completely. Every American company pulls out immediately. Mark Rich doesn't. Working through a maze of shell companies scattered across different countries, he keeps buying Iranian crude oil and reselling it on the world market, all while those hostages are still being held in Tehran. And it isn't the only line he crosses. Through the 1980s and into the early 90s, his company also ships tens of thousands of tons of oil into apartheid South Africa, another country locked under strict international sanctions at the time. His firm does business connected to Cuba as well, another country most American businesses are legally forbidden to touch. At the same time, back in his official U.S. paperwork, Rich is quietly running a second scheme. In some years, his American filings report only around $2 million in profit, while his real global operation is actually earning closer to $100 million. The difference gets funneled through offshore shell companies, keeping the real numbers almost invisible to American tax collectors. By 1981, Rich is rich enough and confident enough to buy his way into Hollywood. Alongside billionaire Marvin Davis, he purchases 20th Century Fox, one of the most famous film studios in the world. For a moment, it looks like the ultimate symbol of his success. An immigrant's son from Belgium, now co-owner of a Hollywood institution. But the timing is terrible. Just as the federal case against him builds, Rich's assets, including his stake in the studio, get frozen and targeted because of the pending charges. By 1984, he's forced to sell his share of 20th Century Fox to media mogul Rupert Murdoch for $232 million. It's an early sign of what's coming. No amount of wealth or prestige is going to make this problem disappear quietly. By the early 1980s, federal investigators are pulling hard on the thread. Other oil companies that had done business with Rich get questioned, and their records start pointing straight back to him. The case lands on the desk of a young, ambitious U.S. attorney named Rudolph Giuliani. He doesn't see a paperwork technicality. He sees the biggest tax fraud case in American history, and he intends to prove it. Investigators piece together the evidence. More than $48 million in taxes evaded through fake trades between Rich's own companies, millions more in illegal profits from trading with Iran during an active hostage crisis, and a documented pattern of sanctions breaking stretching from Tehran to South Africa. In 1983, A federal grand jury hands down an indictment. 65 separate criminal counts: tax fraud, wire fraud, racketeering, trading with the enemy. If convicted on everything, Mark Rich is facing more than 300 years behind bars. Most people facing a case like this stay and fight it in court or negotiate a plea deal. Mark Rich does neither. Rich books a flight and leaves the country before he can be arrested, settling permanently into Switzerland, the same country where he'd built his company nearly a decade earlier. Here's why that choice matters so much. Under Swiss law at the time, extradition is only allowed for a short list of serious crimes, things like murder, kidnapping, or armed robbery. Tax evasion isn't on that list. So while American prosecutors want Rich sent home to stand trial, Swiss law gives them almost nothing to work with. Rich settles into a life most fugitives could only dream of. He keeps running his global trading business by phone and fax from a Swiss villa. He buys homes in the ski resort of St. Moritz and in Marbella, Spain. He collects world-class paintings, Picasso's, Monet, Renoir, the way other people collect stamps. For the next 17 years, U.S. agents track him whenever he travels abroad. He's spotted in Finland, in Germany, in Britain, in Jamaica. Each time, by the moment authorities move to grab him, he's already gone, back across a border into a country that won't give him up. By 1988, Fortune magazine reports that Rich is personally earning around $300 million a year. He isn't hiding in poverty somewhere. He's thriving, completely in plain sight, while remaining one of the most wanted men in America. For almost 2 decades, this is simply how things stay. The U.S. government keeps its case open. Rich keeps living freely in Europe. Nothing moves. Then, in the final days of the Clinton presidency, something shifts behind closed doors. Rich's legal team makes one last push, not through the courts, but straight to the White House itself. And this time, they find an opening. Denise Rich, Mark's ex-wife, has spent years staying close to Democratic political circles, including sizable donations to the party and to a fund supporting Clinton's future presidential library. As Clinton's final hours in office tick down, Rich's name lands on a very short, very unusual list of pardons, granted without going through the Justice Department's normal review process at all. On January 20th, 2001, hours before leaving office, Clinton signs the pardon. Every one of Rich's 65 charges simply disappears. No trial, no prison sentence, no admission of guilt required from him at all. The reaction is immediate and furious. Reporters and members of Congress from both parties call it one of the most troubling pardons in presidential history. Investigations open into whether Denise Rich's political donations helped buy her ex-husband's freedom. Weeks later, even Clinton himself tells a congressional committee that, knowing what he knows now, he wouldn't have recommended the pardon. But by then, it's already done. It cannot be undone. In the end, no one is ever criminally charged over how the pardon came together. Mark Rich never spends a single day in an American prison, never stands trial, and never repays the tens of millions of dollars in taxes he was accused of evading. He returns to running his business empire from Switzerland, the same country that sheltered him for 17 years. He dies there in 2013, at age 78, a free man, a billionaire, and one of the most successful fugitives in American history. Mark Rich never robbed a bank. He never held anyone at gunpoint. His only real weapon was distance, a plane ticket, a friendly legal system, and enough money to simply wait out the country that wanted him. And that's the part of this story that should stay with you. Sometimes the biggest theft isn't the one that gets caught and punished. It's the one that just quietly gets away and outlives everyone who ever tried to stop it.